If you see someone and they're all big and bulky, you say, well, he's so big and bulky, he has to be a football player, a wrestler, because you can tell by how the person looks what kind of profession the person has usually. You say, that person has to be a wrestler. And you see a lady moving gracefully, you say she probably is a dancer. Because you can associate a profession with a person physically. You follow me? Now, if a doctor stands next to a plumber, can you tell the difference? No, you can't. You should be able to look at that person and say, that person has to be a doctor, that person has to be a nurse because they look so damn healthy. They have to be. Something. So you look at this pharmacist who's telling you about these herbs. You know what I mean? Look at him. Look at him. No. Mostly what people are concerned with is the sedatives and uppers and downers. Uppers are known as triggering the sympathetic nervous system, and the downers are what we call the parasympathetic nervous system, or the female principle. And uppers are the male principle. So we say that if you're taking a speed, don't take a speed herb with it, like ephedra, epinephrine. You heard of epinephrine and norepinephrine? We call that ephedra. Ephedra is just a stimulant. It doesn't give you any energy. It's just a stimulant. A lot of people just buy liquid ephedra in California when they can't get the crack because it will drive you. So they're saying don't take a speed herb if you're taking a speed because it's going to speed you up more. And don't take a herb that slows you down if you're taking a sleeping pill because it's going to slow you down more. That would be chamomile, catnip, valerian, those kind of herbs. They say don't take something that's going to slow you down when you're already slowed down. But the thing they didn't tell you is the cycle of the medicines you're taking. If the barometric pressure is higher, the insulin is going to be less effective. Why don't they go back and tell you the weather and its relationship to the synthetic drugs? That's on a little audio I have on weather. It explains all that stuff to you, how the weather is a factor in taking aspirin, in taking antihistamines, and taking cough suppressants. The weather is a factor. The weather is even a factor in sexual intercourse. When the barometric pressure is high, there's all this weight on your circulatory system, it decreases your circulation. When the weight lifts off, you're going to get horny. All you're doing is reacting to the barometric pressure. You follow me? Oh, this is what this moon thing is about. When people, they say the moon is full and all that. This is what I'm talking about here. The barometric pressure and how it takes effect on you. That's why they always plan these things during a certain time of a year. Why do they always plan this stuff during the summer? Why don't they ever talk about these outbreaks during the winter? Why is it the big outbreaks always occur during the summer when the children are out of school? The political use of disease. You have to go into the disease as an industry. It's a disease industry. That's what we have to look at. Once a disease becomes an industry, it lives forever. AIDS is not a disease, it's an industry. Once a disease becomes an industry, it lives forever. That's the problem. We are not looking at it militarily, like I told you before. The Europeans are military people. Don't you get it? They're fighting all the time. They have a military logic, and they approach everything from military logic. Disease is not to make you sick. Disease is to help them retain power. You have to look at it militarily here. Because we're dealing with, the pharmaceutical companies are controlled by military people. Ralston Purina, General Mills, all are controlled by military people. That's what's on their board of directors. Their whole approach to us is military. The people on the board of directors of Toyota are military people. The game is military, and we practice social science, going around singing some songs and marching and stuff. This is a military situation here. Marching is a tactic for power. If it's not working, scratch it. That's how military people think. Kwanzaa is a tool for power. You got to update it to get power. If you freeze it, you freeze your tactic. You got to start looking at things military. Basketball is a military game. Military is about planning. Every time something happens, they get in a huddle and plan something, damn it. It's military. Everybody's using it. Football is a game of tactics. Military. Plan every move. Get in a huddle, plan. That doesn't work, scratch it. They're not going to run the same play every time. It's military. They know right well we're going to sing some songs and pour a libation for Brother H-Rap Brown. They know damn well that's all we're going to do because we're not thinking military. I stood right beside him in West End and they stopped his Jaguar and searched it for a shotgun. That was 15 years ago. I was right beside him when he did it. He came to my house in South Carolina and said, brother, get your book out. Walk with me in the woods. This is the size of him you don't even know. I'm telling you, the man's... In any case, I don't want to go off on that one, but it needs some going off on. I'm telling you, because we got to start thinking military because we're dealing with the Europeans and they are military people. There's nothing more military than the white woman. She who rocks the cradle controls the nation. You better start thinking twice on this situation. If a woman takes your baby off your breast and make you put her baby on her breast, there's something wrong with that woman. Something wrong with that woman. She is not your sister. Feel just as comfortable sleeping with a dog as sleeping with OJ. You know, I don't like to go there because, you know, really. Because I went to school, you know, and I went to school in Europe, and we used to go in the woods and just sleep with flowers and stuff. You know, we're just real passive kind of thing. I'm more at home with daffodils than I am with some people, you know. But that was long ago. Because I went to school with these crackazoids, Europeans. And we were around the lake with candles at midnight because they said the lake was upset. So we prayed for the lake. And I said to myself, brother, you better get a grip on yourself. I'm standing around there, you know, they're all praying for the lake because the lake's upset. And I got 50 million brothers over here in America, and I'm praying for a damn lake. I'm saying, I better, you know, something. I'm holding my candle, but I was thinking something else. They thinking something totally different. I said, I got to get a hold of myself here praying for a lake, you know. Whew. That's some scary stuff in the woods with some crackers. Whew. You know. I didn't mean to bring that up. Ask me another nutritional question. Yes, sir.
Hopefully this will fit the bill. Thanks for the lecture so far.
Thank you.
I want to ask, you had mentioned earlier about science or the human body. Science is the mother of the human body, and mentioned an analogy with the car. The car is not functioning properly, you clean it out, to change the oil, stuff like that. Now, on the path to proper nutrition, you know we have been abusing our bodies for years. Putting all that poison they call milk and stuff like that in your body. So to clean it out, what would be a practical solution to start out on? Because like I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but it's like putting, if you know you have done a lot of bad in the past to your body, just adding that stuff might not be the best thing to do without getting the organ or the tool properly cleansed before you move along that path of proper eating and dieting and stuff like that. I've heard of a method called colonic. I want to know if you have heard of that, or what, if that's a good thing to do, like that deals with the villi in the stomach, the bowels and stuff like that, getting the cleansers by that method, animals and stuff like that, just to hear your point of view on getting the body straight before you actually, yeah.
Yeah, valid question there. I'm mostly from a treatment background. Theory is good and all that, but I'm from a treatment background. I like to stress that so you understand that sometimes I've had to remove the bowel movement with my hands from people's rectum, put on 2 rubber gloves, and just digitally take the impactation out because it wasn't moving any other way. And sometimes I've had to use enemas, but I would mix the laxative herb in the enema, the senna, the cascara sagrada, and make a tea out of that, put it in the enema bag, and squirt it in the rectum, rather than drink it and pass it through the small, large intestine before I get where I needed at. I went straight to the place. So it's according to where the person is in their wellness, what they need to further improve their wellness. So in some cases, the colonic is good. In some cases, the enema is good. In some cases, digitally removing it is good, providing that the brother is all right. I don't know if I get emotionally involved in that. So I would suggest that you strengthen your liver with some dandelion root or milk thistle, because the liver is the one that's been really stressed with this kind of a junk food regimen. And do something for the pancreas, probably some bilberry to strengthen the pancreas. And try to get some of the addiction to the bodily made alcohol out of your system with some kudzu, Kudzu. That gets rid of alcohol craving. So I would use